I'm in a really mad part of the world at the moment. I'm going to be travelling through Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia and ending my journey in Finland. There's going to be saunas and shaman, but certainly no Soviets. But right now, I've got one thing on my mind, and that's survival.
The Baltic states and Finland are only 50 miles apart, yet feel like different worlds. Situated in the northeast of Europe, Finland is usually linked with its Scandinavian neighbours, whilst Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia have only recently escaped communist rule. Our journey starts in Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. From there I head into Latvia and its capital Riga. Then it's northeast to Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. From here I take a ferry over to Finland, and finally I head north to the forests of Karelia. With a population of just over 500,000, Vilnius in Lithuania is the largest of the Baltic capitals. 20% of the people living here are Russian, one of the many reminders that until the early 1990s, the country was under Soviet rule.
This is unbelievable, and surely a symbol of the Soviet decline. These statues were pulled down when Lithuania declared independence, and now they just lie here in this waste ground behind a factory. It's quite sad in a way, really. It's like dead history. This is my favourite image here. These three guys just lying here. One of them's got a book, this one's got a gun, this guy's defiant fist clenched. But these two, this is a classic. Guy pointing, guy holding a hat, both headless. Well, this chap here is Lenin, and I bet he'd never thought he'd be lying in the back of a factory in Vilnius. In fact, the Baltic states have suffered years of oppression. But during World War II, they fell under the Soviet influence again, and that went on right up until the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s. And only then did the Baltic states become truly independent in 1991. This is all a bit weird.
Vilnius is the most picturesque of the Baltic capitals. It was originally built around 600 years ago, and has one of the largest old towns in Eastern Europe.
Well, here I am at the Gorunyai flea market at the outskirts of town, and it's supposed to be the meeting place of East and West. It's packed full of Russians everywhere, selling all sorts of wares and goods. So it's time for a spot of bargain hunting. This place looks vast.
The market is a meeting place for traders from all over Eastern Europe. It's open every day, and the claim is you can buy absolutely anything here, including a Kalashnikov, although I didn't manage to find one.
How much?
$50.
$50? Must be a prize specimen cat, yeah? You're a little sweet thing, aren't you? Yes. I just met Algus, who's volunteered to guide me through the maze of this market. It's pretty mad right here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite big one.
Yeah. Is it mostly Russian stalls here?
Yeah, mostly Russians and some Polish, Belarusians.
And what sort of currency should I spend here?
Mostly they are using dollars.
Right, well, I've got $5 here.
Yeah. It's quite good, but I think mostly we like it. The new one.
New dollar. This is useless then, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Actually, it's okay. Also, you can use it. Liters.
But dollars are better, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so what sort of stuff can you buy around here?
Yeah, you can buy everything. Everything for you. Oh, look what she's.
Oh, what's
Quality
that?
choice.
Oh, look at this.
I think they are talking.
Is it
Russian?
Russian? Oh, superb. I want to buy this. Where's Mr. Man? Hello?
Сколько стоит? $4.
$4. What about litas? Litas? How much in litas?
Сколько литрами будет? 14.
14 litres. What's that?
It will be 3.5.
3.5 then. I've got myself a Russian talking watch. Thank you. At you. Right then, what next?
There are plenty of places to stay in Vilnius and a better choice of cafes and restaurants than anywhere else in the Baltics.
This is cepelini. It's a traditional Lithuanian dish and it's made from potatoes. It's got about half a cow inside and covered with sour cream. It smells gorgeous. If you're a vegetarian travelling through the Baltics, you might have a hard time or go home very skinny. Delicious. Paganism is going through a bit of a revival in Lithuania at the moment, and I know nothing about it. So I've come here to the small town of Karnavy, to the Rasa Midsummer's Nights Festival. It's supposed to be one of the biggest days in the pagan calendar. It's like our Christmas day, I suppose. So I'm going to join in the festivities. Let's get pagan.
Although Lithuanians are mainly Catholic, they still hold on to their ancient pagan traditions. Paganism was banned under Soviet rule, but many Lithuanians still practiced it in secret.
What's so special about this festival?
Oh, this festival is the most beautiful, most important festival in year cycle of chain of festivals during all cycle. This is culmination and top of all nature life to people, to trees, to flowers, and to all.
Right, so sort of celebrating nature at its peak.
Yes, peak of nature celebration.
For travellers, the people of the Baltic states can often appear reserved and hard to get to know.
People's just expressions, like they're just not happy, they're just, and I know it's left over, but I think it's really difficult for us to become accustomed to because we're used to the friendly, customer friendly service in North America, so it's completely different.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get used to it.
Oh, so you'd recommend it in general then?
Oh, definitely. Like once you know people, they're quite nice. But I find that if you don't know them, then you just kind of have to mind your own business.
Any more advice you could give me for travelling through Lithuania?
If you're vegetarian, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, we actually know.
If you're fat-free, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, fat-free vegetarian, forget it.
So I'm going to go back about 4 stones heavier.
We
yeah?
actually know of a few vegetarians who have been living here for a year and they've changed, they've converted, they can't help it.
So Jonas, why have all these people gathered on this hill?
We all look to sunset. It is a very important moment, and there are many songs to the sun at this time, and they all gather and say goodbye to the sun.
Well, this is it. This is what everyone's been waiting for, the lighting of the fires. The fire is supposed to symbolise the sun, and the wood, well, of course, that's the earth, and it's all kind of merging and bonding of nature. And now nature's at its peak. But it's roasting in here. It's absolutely sweltering. I should have brought some marshmallows. Do you bring marshmallows? No? Taking the highway northwest from Vilnius, you'll reach the city of Šiauliai, famous for its hill of crosses. From there I travelled to Latvia's capital, Riga. In the last few years, a number of Western hotels have sprung up across the Baltic states. But if you're on a budget, try accommodations Soviet style.
Hello. Kiefer Gibson.
Hotel.
Excellent.
First floor, please.
Thank you. First floor.
Yes.
Thanks.
This used to be a Soviet state-owned hotel, and back in 1991 when the independence kicked in, they tried to sell this place, but nobody would buy it. So it's a good place to come if you still want a taste of how things used to be. What you got? That doesn't work. Neither does that. I don't believe it. Nothing works. Even the lamp doesn't work. Just outside Šiauliai is the Hill of Crosses. Pilgrims have been visiting here for around 500 years to lay crosses and commemorate the death of their loved ones. During the Soviet rule, it was bulldozed at least 3 times, but the crosses just kept reappearing. Victoria Urbanovici regularly visits the hill to remember those who were killed during the communist occupation.
People are putting the crosses when they are happy, just wishing their success and to continue. They come here and put the crosses when they're very sad and depressed and upset about everything, and put the cross as a symbol of their hope. Yes?
Yeah. And has anyone ever counted how many crosses there are here?
Well, there were some attempts, and somebody tried to count, and when they reached 1 million, they said, no, it's enough. You could never count how many crosses is over here.
Wow.
So
And I suppose
more than 1 million, millions of them, millions.
Yeah, and I suppose it gets greater every day,
Yes,
doesn't it?
great every day.
Every day, Catholics come from across the Polish border to add crosses to the millions already here.
Możemy coś jeszcze pośpiewać, my chcemy Bogu, czy co, proszę Cię?
I'm not a religious person, so I haven't planted a cross here at all. But it is an amazing sight to walk through here and just look at all the crosses. But the best thing to do is wait till the wind picks up a bit and just walk through and listen to the sounds of the crosses jangling.
A great way to get around the Baltics is by bus. It's easy and very cheap. However, it's worth checking there are no expected delays at the border points, as these can be long and tedious.
Pilates? Riga?
Riga tycker jag inte bara.
On the bus? Alright, okay. Have you got any tips for people travelling through the Baltics?
Pack light. That's all I'm saying. Don't bring too much stuff. For the Baltics, I'd bring toilet paper and I guess money.
Yeah.
Always is good.
So have you got any words I could use when I get to Latvia?
Spakes.
Spakes?
Spakes, it's hello, goodbye, you know.
Spakes? Yeah, I can use that. That's easy.
And I don't know. Zersim alo.
Tjersim alla?
That means let's drink beer.
That's essential, definitely. The last thing you'd expect to find in the middle of the Latvian forest is an Olympic bobsleigh track. It's 1,200 metres long with 16 bends, and in the summer they stick wheels in the carts. And for $5 you can have a shot. I've had a quick look at the track and it looks very scary. Am I going to die on this?
Yes, very fast, very scary.
Has anybody actually been seriously hurt or killed on this track?
It's no. It's hard, but it's okay. It's no problem. We can go without problems.
How fast?
How fast? The fastest place is 100 kilometers.
So we can feel G-force like?
Little bit.
So are we going to be sideways? We're going to be
Yeah.
hanging off like this,
Inside,
yeah?
it's a wall. The sled stay here. You see? See the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bobsleigh line.
The track is 3/4 of a mile long, and the whole ride takes just over a minute.
Yes!
Riga is commonly known as the Paris of Eastern Europe and is a mixture of Russian, German and Latvian influences. One of its highlights is the Riga Central Market, which takes place around several World War I Zeppelin hangars.
This is one of the best souvenirs you can get here. Amber. It's washed up along the Baltic coastline and the locals go up, collect it, polish it up and put it on a stall like this to sell to tourists like me. But you get a good price for it. How much for this chunk?
This 3 lats.
3 lats. Okay. And what about the this chunk here, the badge?
Brooch.
Brooch.
This 5 lads.
5 lads.
5 lads, yeah.
Okay, 5 lads.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
10 lads.
10 lads.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's no plastic, it's amber.
Just a short trip outside Riga is the former concentration camp of Salaspils.
This inscription reads, "Behind this gate the earth groans." Between 1941 and 1944, this was the site of a Nazi concentration camp where thousands of people from occupied Latvia, Russia and other Eastern European countries were held before being transported to other concentration camps.
The area is now a memorial to the 100,000 people who died. A metronome beats under a concrete block, a reminder of a constant human heartbeat. My next journey takes me out of Latvia and into Estonia, the most Scandinavian of the Baltic republics.
I've come to the far southeast of Estonia, to Setomaa, the land of the Setus. And between the two world wars, the whole of Setomaa lay in independent Estonia. But since 1940, it's been divided between Russia and Estonia. They've got their own language and their own culture, and they worship their own god. It's basically like a separate country, and today they're having a song festival.
The Setus worship Peku, the pagan god of fertility, and this is as important to them as their Russian Orthodox religion.
Can you tell me a bit about who are the Setu people?
Setu people are Estonians. They live in Estonia, but they speak a different language than Estonian. They have own language, they have own folk clothes.
And what about these breastplates that you wear? Do they have any meaning behind them?
It's old money and it's silver, and every who wear these clothes, she takes energy for life.
So what's it like being a Setu?
Oh, it's good because if somebody in day is bad, and if I put the clothes, then I know that the sun is shining and all is good.
Traditional Setu singing requires the lead to spontaneously sing a line and the group will then follow. The singers can go on like this for up to 8,000 lines.
I've got myself some typical Setu food now, and this is called suyr. It's a type of cheese, and they make it with raisins in the middle. And you're supposed to put a big dollop of butter on top, and then chow down. That's actually really good. The raisins add a certain sweetness to it, and it's like eating a big slab of cheesecake. And to wash it down, I've got some tar, which is a soft drink, a non-alcoholic beer really, made from beer bread. They've got an alcoholic version too, but apparently it's quite lethal. If that tastes anything to go by, I don't fancy trying it. It's like warm bitter. I think I'll stick to the cheese.
Well, the food it's been pretty rough because I'm a vegetarian, and so far I've eaten potatoes, and the potatoes are delicious, but anytime you eat the same food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks, you get a little bored of it. But the potatoes are great. If you go to the pubs, usually you can get some sort of Western food. I mean, we had French fries, we had mashed potatoes, we had potatoes in a lot of different forms.
Next, I'm heading out of Setomaa and west into Pärnu on the Baltic coast. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, there are an abundance of motorcycles with sidecars. Most of these are ex-military, and if you're lucky, you can hitch a lift in one.
Thank you. There's a huge network of working farms all across Estonia, and it's going to cost me about $13 a night to stay here, but you get a huge farmer's breakfast thrown in. It's also a great way to meet the locals, and you get to do a bit of hard work too.
Travellers who want to spend some time in a farm should contact the Estonian Farmstay Association, and they'll be able to provide a list of places to stay all over the country.
I've been sent to the kitchen to help Mario make a traditional Estonian meal of blood sausage and blood pancakes. What kind of blood is it?
From pig.
From pig?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so what do we do next then? How do we start?
Ei, nüüd peabki vere siia valama, kui on vaja.
What, the blood into here?
Jaa.
Yeah, okay. All of it? Yeah? No, just a little bit. Okay.
Ütle, kui aitab. Noh, veel,
More?
pool.
Half. That's about half. Smells delicious.
Blood sausage and blood pancakes are usually eaten only on a special occasion.
Is that good?
Yeah, good.
Oh, squeaky.
Yeah.
And how long does this take to cook?
10 minutes.
You tie it together, yeah? Okay, almost got it.
No, come.
What a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So that'll take 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Yes, now we eat. Well, this is blood pancake and blood sausage I'm eating. And it was made with pig's blood. I don't know if the pig was alive this morning, but it certainly tastes fresh. And if you've ever tried black pudding, that's exactly what this tastes like. If you've never tried black pudding, it's like a herb sausage. It's beautiful.
After lunch, it's time to work off my meal with some hard work down on the farm. getting away from the mainland now and heading for the islands of Estonia's coast. And to do this, there's only one way to travel.
Around about 10% of Estonia is made up of islands, so I've taken a ferry to the largest one of these, a place called Saaremaa, which is also home to the country's most famous shaman, a chap called Vigilas Sais. So I'm off to pay him a visit. So how would you describe yourself? Are you a shaman, or are you a healer, or a mystic?
I am a scientist, not a mystic. I have a medicine degree, so I can call myself a doctor. Shamanism to me is a hobby, but one in which I've been practicing for more than 30 years.
What sort of people come to visit?
During Soviet times, I had around 100 patients. I treated people for illnesses such as the common cold or hay fever. But now that times are harder, I see people with more serious health problems, such as leukemia and cancer.
Shamans worship the sun and the earth. They believe that to have full spiritual and mental health, a person must be in touch with nature. Here the shaman is paying his respect to the forest and asking to enter deep into its centre. By banging the drum and performing a cleansing ritual, Vigilas Sais is asking the earth to destroy the negative energy around us. We then light a fire, and if the tree falls in the right direction, our offerings will be accepted.
The tree's fallen now, and it fell to the north, which is a really good sign because it means all our apologies have been accepted and we're now cleansed. If it had fallen to the south or to the west, we'd have had to do the whole ceremony again. So now I'm cleansed, I can go ahead and make a wish, so I'm going to tie this sock to the tree and get a wish. I feel great actually. I don't know whether it's the burning pine or whether it was the gin, but I feel really clear-headed and just great. I won't tell you what I wish for. A new pair of socks would be good too.
Sitting on the Gulf of Finland, Estonia's capital of Tallinn is a popular spot for Finns at weekends. They flock across to enjoy both its medieval town and its cheap shopping.
On the 23rd of August 1989, on the 50th anniversary of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, 2 million people formed a human chain which stretched all the way from Tallinn to Vilnius. They sang hymns and folk songs, and some say they could be heard all the way in Moscow. This became known as the Singing Revolution, but it took until 1991 for Estonia to declare full independence, along with the rest of the Baltics. It was here in the Song Bowl that the movement to break away from the Soviet Union began. From 1988 onwards, Estonians spontaneously gathered here to sing previously banned national songs, joining their neighbours in Latvia and Lithuania to force the Soviets to take notice of their plight. At one point, there were 300,000 people singing. That's 1 in 3 Estonians. Well, my time in the Baltics is up now, so I'm going to head to Finland. There's 3 ways you can get there. You can fly, but that's quite expensive. You can swim, but that's just silly. Or for $25, you can take the ferry.
To get to Finland's capital Helsinki, it's a 5-hour ferry ride across the Gulf of Finland. love being on boats in the sea. It's great. I've been watching out for dolphins and they surf, but haven't seen any. And now we're coming into Helsinki. There's all these little strange islands everywhere. Hi there. Can you tell me about the Helsinki card?
Yes, of course. You can find more information. Well, first of all, you can travel free in Helsinki area and do the bus sightseeing tour. And otherwise, you can visit the museums. And, well, you get some discounts, gifts, whatever.
Excellent. How much is it?
It's 110 for 24 hours.
Yeah, I'll go for one.
Okay, very well.
48 museums. It's going to be a busy day. With a population of around 500,000, Helsinki is a small city, easy to get around, and by far the most popular tourist spot in Finland. This is a monument to Sibelius, Finland's greatest composer. I've actually found it quite a culture shock coming to Finland from the Baltics, because where Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania are still trying to shake off the Russianisms, Finland's well and truly lost them, because it became independent in 1917. And because of this, Helsinki is a well and truly westernised city, and the tourists love it. One place the Helsinki card won't get you on is a pub tram tour. It takes you around the city, you can see all the sights with a beer in hand. The tram ride lasts an hour and there's no ticket required, but a glass of beer will set you back $6. So what does hooligan gulligan mean?
It means cheers.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Hooligan gulligan. So what do you think of this idea of the pub tram?
The pub tram, well, I think it's the best way to see the city. The most interesting places in the city is you're enjoying your beer. If you're not too much concentrated on your beer, you're a little bit out of the window as well.
I suppose if you get too concentrated on the beer, you start seeing double Helsinki, don't you?
Double image of everything. It's even more beautiful that way.
So is there quite a big drinking culture in Finland?
Yeah, I suppose. Some people say that Finns are famous for drinking, but I don't know about that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That much.
Well, I think the drinking habits have changed a bit with this wine, and I suppose some people would say it used to be vodka and now it's more like wines and that. Yeah.
Well, we've only got an hour to go, so not much drinking time left.
Yeah, good idea.
Hooligan gulligan. We're going to head out of Helsinki now and see some of the famous Finnish countryside I've heard so much about. And I'm going to take the train there. They're supposed to be quite posh around here. They've got telephones and they've got bars. But the price of a ticket will bite into your budget a little bit. Thank you. That's not the cheapest ticket I've ever bought. $35. The final leg of my journey takes me north to the forests and lakes of Karelia.
Train goes almost everywhere, and for students it's very cheap.
The only thing you can see is trees, 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 trees. Sometimes a lake, sometimes a field, but trees, 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 trees.
A bear killed a man. It was just 2 weeks ago or something, and but it's not dangerous to in forests.
One thing travelers should watch out in Finland in the forest, it's the mosquitoes. If you hate mosquitoes, don't go to the forest.
Morning, Kimo.
Morning.
Well, it's early morning in the deep forest. This delightful little shed is called a lean-to, and it was my bed for the night. There's a whole network of them across the forest, and they're entirely free to stay in. So today I'm going to be trekking part of the Bear Trail, which makes up part of the 1,000-kilometre Karelian circuit. And then later on, my trusty guide Kimo here has promised me a paddle on the river. So how's the coffee coming along? Good? I think it needs some. "70% of Karelia is forest, so if you want to go hiking here, it's a good idea to take a guide, as it's very easy to get lost." This is absolutely teeming with ants, isn't it?
One of the biggest anthill in North Karelia. And there might be hundreds of thousands of these ants, one nest.
Are they dangerous?
Maybe they bite a little bit, but in Finland we have competition of how long you can sit on the top of the nest without clothes. Winner can sit many hours there.
Are you all crazy? In Scotland we throw cabers. In Finland you sit naked on an ant's nest. Karelia is also notorious for its wild bears. Over the years, they have killed both people and cattle. An old Finnish superstition claims that it's bad luck to say the name karhu, or bear, out loud.
Päivää.
Hello, Neil.
He's the bear hunter, Väinö Heikkinen.
Excellent, pleased to meet you.
Joo.
So how did Väinö become a bear hunter?
Miten sinusta, Väinö, tuli tämmönen karhunkaataja?
No, 48.
He shot the first bear in 1948, and after that people just come to and ask him to kill bears, because in this time bears kills a lot of cows and lambs, and that's the way he came to bear killer.
How many bears has he killed in total now?
Miten monta karhua sitten kokonaisuudessa on kaadettu?
36 karhua.
36 bears.
36. So what does it actually feel like to kill a bear?
Miltä se on tuntunut tämmönen karhun kaataminen, että onko se koskaan surettanut tai?
Ei koskaan kylläkään ole, ja se oli se into.
He never feels sad because he think that it his work to kill bears, because there's not many hunters in those days. And
oh wow. Are these bear skulls?
yes, most of them.
Which is the biggest skull?
This one is shot 19 August 1956, and this one is kill one cow, and this old lady Ida Kananen has only one cow, and this killed the only cow, and Ida came to Väinö and crying and say, and come and kill that bear. And Väinö go and kill the bear.
Kill the bear. That must have been a beast when it was alive. Look at the size of that.
It's a killer bear. Be careful.
Munch my small head off. This river is the Lieksan-Joki, which flows right out of Russia and into Finland. And at the moment we're 15 kilometers from the border. And Kimo here tells me that the water tastes much better on the Finnish side. Yep, that's pretty good. Karelia is a patchwork of rivers and lakes. This makes it ideal for water sports, particularly during the summer when it's light almost all night long.
I found myself in Sonkajärvi, and I've been told there's a wife-carrying festival going on. It sounds totally mad, so expect shenanigans.
The wife-carrying festival was started 3 years ago to attract tourists to the area, and it's quickly grown into a national institution.
Meet Mrs. Gibson.
The race is run in heats, and if you drop your wife, you're fined 15 seconds. However, if you win, your prize is a mobile phone and your wife's weight in beer. That's a lot of beer in my case.
Speechless. All my body organs. I just collapsed. I reckon I got about 5 seconds of life left in me.
Travelling through the Baltics in Finland has been like entering a hidden world, but one where the people want to show you its secrets. I found the Baltics to be a free-thinking, spiritual kind of place, and Finland to be a practical place for backpacking. In all 4 countries, I've had a bizarre experience of one kind or another, and it seems to me that behind every tree, there's something happening.